Well, I knew this day would come eventually.
Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Lisa.
Yes, today is the final weekly check-in with Lisa. I knew this day would come eventually, but I was in denial about it. We were actually this was actually supposed to be last week, but we record these on Mondays and then they come out on Fridays. And last Monday, we both kind of mutually decided we just needed a Monday to chat between the two of us and have just us talking and not have the audience, just to, we're just going through some things mentally and all that. So we were like, you know what, let's skip this week. So today, this is actually February 1st that we're recording. And we started this little series. The first one we recorded, I think, was like the Monday after Christmas. So this is the fifth one that we've done. If you've missed any of our little check-in videos, there is a link to a playlist which has all of the videos below. So the whole idea behind this little series with Lisa was just to, we're starting out a new year and we really wanted to bring you guys along and check in with her every week. She is someone who has been eating a vegan diet for a very long time, like 6 or 7 years, but really wanted to incorporate some more whole food plant-based principles into her vegan diet. And so that was where I came into play to kind of help her a little bit. And then by doing this, all of you kind of helped her as well. And we really appreciate all the comments that we've gotten and the feedback, and it's been super helpful. So comment on this video and feel free to still comment on any of the other ones as well. We still read those comments, but we really appreciate it. But how are you doing today, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bit tired, so if you see me blinking at you and looking a bit spaced out, that's why. It's been a busy day, but good.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about, so actually this week, so the first episode we did, if you guys remember together, Lisa came with a ton of questions for me. And so today I brought my clipboard and I've got a ton of questions for Lisa. But before we get into that, I wanted to touch base on you kind of decided to make a little change in the last few weeks and you've started doing your dog walking again. And just like tell everybody, I guess, how getting out and being active has really helped your mentality in these like crazy times that we're in.
Yeah, well, before the beginning of this whole thing in last March time, I had a dog walking business for about 7 years. And obviously the pandemic kind of killed that a little bit. And for a few months there, nobody was going anywhere and it was all just locked down properly. But recently, one of my dog owners had asked if I knew of any other dog owners. And I said, I didn't. And I thought, well, I could take a dog out on a Monday if she wanted to. And anyway, long story short, we've got Monday Club with a whole bunch of them that I used to walk. So we've been out for the second time today, and it's brilliant because it feels like a little bit of normal life. And on a day like today, which was one of those really sunny but cold days, just really beautiful day.
I think it was like 5:30 in the morning and you sent some pictures of Lisa's the best person for me to chat with because I wake up like pretty much every morning at like 3:30 to 5 a.m. And that's like the perfect time because she's up and doing stuff. And I'm like, Lisa, I can't sleep. Of course, it doesn't work the other way because when you're trying to sleep, I don't know, I can't do the math.
I do.
So.
It does sometimes.
It does sometimes. Yeah, it does work out.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have people in different parts of the world because when you're, you don't want to message somebody at 3:30 in the morning, but it's like 9:30 there. But yeah, she sent me some pictures from her dog walk and I was like, is it bad that I wish I could be one of the dogs on that walk with you right now?
Yeah, I said you don't have to be the dog. You can just be yourself or a human. You don't.
I think even Brian thought that one was kind of creepy, but
yeah, I don't know whether we should share that.
They just look like they're having so much fun. Like how I'm telling you, people out there, you know that dog lovers out there have looked at your dogs and been like, I wish I could just be a dog. Yeah. They have the life.
Yeah, they have good fun, and I take them places where I can let them off the lead so they can all just chase each other around for a while, and and have a good sniff about and things. But today was a particularly lovely sunny day. It was cold, but it was really nice. And we went to a place called Beacon Hill, which is like the highest point around, and you can look over Halifax. So it is like a cityscape, but it's nice to look at still. And but the main thing is getting back out there and doing some exercise through the daytime and not just, hibernating in the house. And I think I was getting down, particularly because I'd been outside constantly, walking every day. And then all of a sudden lockdown came along, and, it just, you stay inside. We were only allowed out in the beginning for one walk a day. Like, I don't know how they were going to police that, but yeah, we were told we were only allowed out for one time to do exercise, and it was all a bit, it's not like that now, but it's nice to just get back like one day of normalcy.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Well, I really want to thank you for doing this and agreeing and even coming with the idea for this. I mean, when you came to me with this idea for the series, I was super excited. So thank you for sharing yourself with all of our viewers, because I think it's been cool just to have a different perspective on things. And, Brian and I can only ramble on about ourselves so much before it just becomes totally repetitive. So it's been, I think, nice. And I think people have enjoyed it. So thank you for doing this.
Well, I hope so, because I'm pretty good at rambling on, aren't I? So
yeah, but you've got that lovely accent, so it's just like I'm gonna get right into my questions. Okay, so the first question I have is, what is the most important thing that you've learned over this past month or 5-6 weeks ish of doing this?
That I am capable of things when I put my mind to it, and not to put off things that that you can do today. I think you might have mentioned it before that I know when you mentioned it, when you started in December, you could have said, oh, I'll start on the 1st of January. But when you do that, you do yourself a disservice, really. And I think if you think of something, just get cracked on with it straight away. So I think even though it was a weird week to even think of it in between Christmas and New Year, when the house was full of all the, sweets and treats and everything, it made it all right. I didn't stick to it 100%, but I made better choices right from when I needed to. And now, the weight that I'd put on just before Christmas with the dreaded mince pies and the other things, I've got that back off now. So that half stone is back off. That's £7.
You can hang your little half stone.
Yeah. Oh, I should have got it, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you get it framed, hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
your Slimming World half stone.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the thing is, if I hadn't done it, if I hadn't come to you and asked for help, I would have maybe been a stone up by now. I would have been £14 higher up. And it's that case of, if you're sick of it, draw a line, say start now, and you don't have to do anything major. You just have to get started in any small way. Just get started and make that decision for yourself. And then I think, particularly with, we talk about it quite a bit, the mental strain of the pandemic and things, just taking that bit more of control over a situation will improve your life significantly all around, because, it does feel like a bit out of control at the moment. Nobody feels like that their life's their own at the moment. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? So even just a small thing like that, it can have a massive effect on you and your well-being.
All right. Up next, I would love to know, I'm really curious I think this will be good for people. So what advice would you give to other, quote, junk food vegans who are looking to incorporate more whole food plant-based principles into their diet?
Well, I would say don't be hard on yourself and don't overcomplicate it. So I would say the best thing to do is just add more vegetables, consciously add more fruit, add more vegetables, add more salad. So whatever you were going to eat, just add a load of things in. Just smack myself in the face. What I would say is, whatever you were going to eat, add more vegetables, add more salad, all the good stuff, and just, do extra. So then work out how you can take the bad stuff away.
I think too, it's like, even a lot of people say, eat the salad first. So, or that kind of stuff, when they're eating their plate, they try to eat the really healthy stuff first. And then by the time you get through all that, you're not necessarily if you have the junk food stuff, you don't really want it anymore because you're already full.
Yeah. And another thing, the breakfast, because I was stuck on toast for my breakfast, basically, or bagels or whatever. And I'd kind of disregarded things like porridge because I thought they were a bit boring. But going back to comments in the YouTube comments, rather, treating your breakfast with the same amount of effort as you would another meal, and it really changed how I ate, how I am eating in the morning.
And you also were able to come up with, like, I think like some swaps for certain things that you would have normally eaten. And so just slowly kind of replacing the junk food kind of stuff with something that's a little bit healthier. And gradually, I think you'll get, I don't know, you just get better over time.
Yeah, and remembering that I've been losing and gaining weight for like over 20 years. I'm quite good at it now.
I'm the champ.
yeah, obviously you're the champ, but things like, missing potato fries. I want to say chips, but I know you're wanting fries. But things like, cutting them into wedges, potatoes into wedges and putting them in the oven, and you can get that kind of hit off chips, but without the extra fat and the deep frying and that kind of thing.
We've actually have you ever tried making your own, what we call potato chips, that you call, it's so confusing, that you call crisps, We've actually made our own, like, oil-free potato chips, aka crisps, and they turn out really, you can really, it's actually surprising, especially if you have an air fryer, what you can do with potatoes to make them really crunchy with no oil at all. And there are a lot of tricks out there. So
yeah, I tell you what, it's one of my favorite things, which we've not talked about at all on this, is they're called Hasselback potatoes, but I always call them Hasselhoff potatoes. Because I think I'm hilarious. And it's where you get your potato, and if you put it on a spoon and then you chop really thinly, so it looks a bit like a hedgehog, and then you're supposed to open them up, and I put a bit of spray oil or something on them, and then they cook really thin and crispy on the top. But yeah, Hasselhoff potatoes. And then you can have them with a bit of salad and whatever else you want in, and I just feel like a bit of a treat, though, so I enjoy them.
All right, up next, can you talk about some of the mental challenges that you face? Because I think a lot of people don't realize that changing what you're eating, there's so much mental stuff going on. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, I know I'm always going on about this year because it's been rough for everybody, and a lot of people more than me. I've had it easy. I have had it easy, but it's still taking its toll a bit. But I think, the negative impact of not taking care of yourself and just eating for the sake of it, and eating out of boredom, and eating because it's there, and then you don't feel well from it because you're not giving your body the nutrients it needs, and then it has a knock-on effect of, well, I feel like a big fat lad, for doing that, and then you're down on yourself, so then you eat some more, and then with all the Christmas treats around, it's easy to make excuses, and I think particularly this year we've noticed in this country, I know somebody mentioned English drinking, but the thing from the pandemic, particularly in the beginning, people were just drinking a lot more. Like, I went into one of the little shops on my way home from somewhere, and there was a whole bunch of us in the queue, and it was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and we'd all got bottles of booze, and then we're all looking at each other, right, guilty, but everyone's a bit like, well, there's nothing else to do, you might as well get drunk, Not that bad, but it's like drinking for fun got way out of control. Dolly's trying to get in on the action here.
Hey, someone said they wanted to see your cats. Okay, this is perfect. Right. Like,
she's trying to drink. She's trying to steal my water.
You're getting like the most close-up view of.
look, this is Dolly. No, she's going to get off me.
I have to include one of the photos. I'll put in one of you have so many really good photos of Dolly.
She's a very cute cat. She's the best.
She knows it too.
I'm sure everyone else who's got a cat knows you cannot have a glass of water without them immediately trying to drink it.
I learned that from watching Martin, the Great Potato Mage, because he literally, there's times when he's been sitting there and he's been filming, and in the background there's a cup and you just see the cat come and drink from the cup, and it's just like, cats. I think that the mental thing, that cycle you were talking about, it's like, I am depressed. Food will make me happy. I eat food. Food makes me depressed. Like you're eating,
I'm sad.
Now I'm sad. I need more food because I need that hit of feeling good. It's like, it is like such a cycle. And I think the most important thing that I can tell people that I have learned is you've just got to break out of that cycle. And that's exactly what you did when you reached out to me and you were like, I need to break out of this cycle. Let's do something different, change it up, find some accountability, find something, because trust me, like I have been down that path of getting stuck in that cycle for months, for days, for weeks. Like it just depends. Like it doesn't always spiral, but this last year it's been rough. It's been, I've gotten into that cycle, and I to say it all the time, but it's like, you have to break it. And if you can get like a week under your belt of breaking that cycle, it's so much better on the other side of that week, I feel like. But I want to talk about something a little bit more fun now. We have made some delicious food over this past like 5 or 6 weeks, and we've shared a lot of really cool recipes with each other. So I want to know, what is your favorite whole food plant-based recipe that you've made this past month?
Well, as far as a set recipe, Jill Dalton's one, that was absolutely delicious.
The broccoli, the cheesy rice and broccoli bake.
Yeah, that was so good. But I think other things that I've had is just remembering what good food tastes like, instead of stuff that's just salt, fat and sugar, and I think, like getting the breakfast sorted out. I don't know what this is about. And big salads and like we said, I'm totally rubbish at following recipes, so I just kind of fling things together and hope for the best. But buying the right ingredients for a start, making sure I've got the vegetables and the fruit and the salad in, and you don't need a recipe to just chuck some on a plate and eat it. I think hummus as well. Getting some good hummus recipes. I kind of, if you've got your base hummus recipe, you can then add whatever you want in. So, if you've got your base hummus recipe, then you can add basil in. It tastes like a bit like pesto, or you can put some dried tomatoes in, or you can put some chilies in, and you can change it up and make it taste a lot different. And so that's like having a salad dressing or whatever dressing that's just a bit chunkier as well. It's like a filling type of thing. And also, if you eat it with some carrot sticks and whatever, you feel like you're having a little cheeky snack as well, rather than as long as you stay away from like tortilla chips or whatever.
I think hummus is one of those things that people like either really love, or they're like, ooh, I don't really like hummus. If you're one of those people who never really liked hummus, just try it again and like just play around with the flavors, because it seriously can be used like the salad, on salads. That's what I always tell people. Ask us all the time, like, I'm sick of salads, I don't want salads. Like, try it with something different. Try it with some hummus. Try it.
I think the best way to get through the salad, push through the salad block, is get your dressing sorted out. That health span solution book, that's very good. But also YouTube is just a mine of amazing recipes. So if you get lucky and you type in whole food plant-based salad dressings, there'll be like hundreds of recipes to choose from. And some are more fattening, some are less fattening, so you've got to be a bit careful, like we've said before, about the nuts and the seeds thing. They do make everything much more tasty, and but you've got to be careful with it, because that was the trap I fell down a couple of weeks ago, and I had to just literally stop. like
no more cashews.
This is not the way I wanted to go. Reverse out of that road and then carry on down another road.
Yeah. And if you guys are curious about some of the recipes that we've talked about, I will, of course, link below in the blog post to any of the recipes that we've discussed over this last few things. And you can look at all the other posts for the videos. Each video has its own post where I've put all the recipes and even photos of a lot of the food that we've been making and all that stuff. Now I'm getting really hungry.
Yeah.
So how do you think that doing this whole thing these past few weeks will change the way that you look at food going forward?
Well, it's just reminded me of what I should be doing. And it started off this year really well. You know, it could have been another year that you kind of just flopped into, for want of a better word, and trudged on. But I think making that decision and starting this little project, it started me off in a better frame of mind. And even though I had like terrible headaches for a couple of weeks as I got through the sugar withdrawal, I think that was probably mainly what that was. It started me off this year feeling in control, which I wouldn't have done otherwise. And some better frame of mind. And also in this last couple of weeks, I found that I'm sleeping properly. Whereas in the last few months, through various stresses with work and everything else, I've not slept at all. I mean, I know you don't sleep at all anyway, but and that's got nothing to do with sugar, but I think my sleep was seriously affected by the just ridiculous amount of sugar that I was taking in, either by alcohol or sweets. I mean, like, you know, jelly sweets or chocolate, vegan chocolate, or mince pies or cake, or all those things that I was eating for fun. And I think it was just playing havoc with my sleep patterns. And I think, you know, I'm laid like stuff in my face watching telly late at night, and then I tried to go to sleep and my body's like, well, you've just put several hundred calories worth of sugar and rubbish into your body. You know, I should be burning that off, but I'm not. I'm trying to sleep, and then I wonder why I can't sleep. So
yeah.
What was the question again?
So how do you think, like, okay, so I'm going to go into the next question because actually it's kind of in a similar vein. Going forward, do you think that you'll try to stick to whole food plant-based on a consistent basis? I know kind of when we started this, you had the mentality of maybe trying to do like 80-20 and like 80% of what you're eating. Do you think you see yourself sticking to that, or how do you see going forward?
Yeah, I think that will always be the goal. I'm not going to beat myself up if it doesn't quite go that way, but I am going to really, really try hard and stick to making sure that every meal I have has some, you know, majority vegetables or fruit salad, what have you, and just try and stick to those rules, because I feel 1,000 times better than I did, you know, and it's just having a bit of discipline. And like you were saying, what have you learned? I've learned that I can do it. I am capable, and so I have to stop kidding myself and reckoning on that I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I'm too whatever excuse I can think of. It's always possible. Organization, that's one thing. I've got to get better and keep organized. I think always having maybe this is a bit of a big book to carry around with me, but just to keep writing, keep a little journal diary of what I've eaten in the day, because then I can go back and remember good things that I've eaten, and I think, oh, well, yeah, I wouldn't mind eating that again, or just to try and make sure that the bad stuff doesn't become the habit instead of the good stuff. So I think
I think that's so, like what you said about I can do it. I think it's like one of those simple things that people take for granted a lot of times, but because there are a lot of people out there who either feel like they can't do it and don't feel like they're in control, or sometimes even feel like they're not worth doing it for. And I think it's so important to, you know, remind people you can do this, like you can do it, and you're worth doing it for. Like, I know that sounds like cliche, whatever, but like it's true. And I think a lot of people need that reminder. And it's really important.
And I think I hate to, you know, like buzzwords and stuff, but self-care is particularly important at the moment. And if you're not looking after the very basics, like what you eat and the fuel that you give your own body, which it sounds, I'm annoying myself saying it because I'm literally the worst person. Is why we're having to do this, but I really should pay more attention to that. And the words that come out of my mouth, I need to listen to. So
yeah, no, and I think a lot of people, like I myself included, a lot of people spend a lot of their time and energy taking care of everybody around them. And like you are a prime example of that. You, whether it be people or animals in general, birds specifically,
Yeah.
you run around like every day. It's like even earlier today, you were like, oh, it's a good thing we're recording later because I had to go get a bird and like somewhere, and like, if you guys don't know about what Lisa does, check out Sacred Space. I will link to their stuff. Actually, their stuff is linked in all of our blogs as well that go along with the series. But it's an amazing cafe in West Yorkshire in the UK. And they actually also use the profits they get from there to help fund the bird rescue that all of them at the cafe, including Lisa, do. And so it's just, I feel like a lot of people, they have, whether they have kids or they have a spouse or whatever, they're constantly trying to take care, parents take care of other people. But it is, Brian always loves when I tell him like, Brian, you didn't do this for me, like whatever. He's like, oh, well, it's one of those, like, put your, when the mask falls down,
yeah.
When the mask falls down in the airplane, you're supposed to put your like mask on first so you can breathe before you help everybody else. And there is a little bit of that. I feel like it's, you can only take care of others and other people if you are in good shape yourself. And so sometimes people forget to take care of themselves first, and then it'll help you better take care of others and do all that. So there's our little our little inspirational moment.
Yeah, no, that's true though. It really is true. And and then I do think that the less you take care of yourself, you can, well, me particularly, you can spiral into that, just generally being down as well. And it does does affect my mental state if I'm just giving up,
Yeah.
Although I always try and put a face on it,
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then we have days like last Monday where I literally was just like pouring my heart out to Lisa for like an hour, like, oh, I'm so depressed and I hate everything. And it's like, but sometimes you need those outlets. And I'm so appreciative of the friendship that we have made over these last, I don't know what, year and a half-ish that we've known each other. And I seriously cannot thank you enough for doing this. So do you have anything else to add as we close this out?
I don't know. I did have some things written down, but they're not in front of me, so I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure that's about the long and the short of it, isn't it? I think I'm going to continue the best I can and stick to the rules that we've sort of set out with, writing things down, and we'll see what the future brings. And
and don't get too sad, people, because Lisa is not getting off the hook without coming on some more videos with me in the future. So we had kind of discussed, maybe we'll try to do, maybe it'll be monthly, maybe it'll be like every other month, who knows, in the future, to check in with her, see how she's doing, maybe get her involved in some other kind of fun videos that we're working on as well. So this is not goodbye to Lisa. This is just the end of our little weekly series that we started out in January. But yeah, if you guys, like I said before, if you guys want to check out the other videos in this series, there's a link to a playlist. There's links to all the blog posts and all that fun stuff that go along with these videos, so you can find more information about what we're talking about. All of it is in the description of the video. If you want to subscribe to our channel, you'll get more videos of me and Brian doing all of our weird things and rambling on about stuff. You can also follow us on social media for even more fun. I love updating the Instagram, and we're also on Facebook. And I actually started the other day getting back into Pinterest. I'm trying to get all of our recipes put onto Pinterest, and it's like a big project. So look for that to come in the future for all you Pinterest lovers out there. Otherwise, you can like the video, you can thumbs down the video if you hate us. You can comment and let us know what you think about all the stuff that we've been talking about. But I think that's all I've got for this one.
That's all I've got.
All right. Well, we will see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen. Bye.